Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about arrays. Now an array, we kind of seen some of these in earlier videos, but I didn't go into details on explaining what an array was. And so this video I'm going to show you all the different types of arrays and how to access them and use them. And in the next video we'll go a little bit deeper into some cool things you can do with arrays. But for now let's just figure out what an array is. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my screen here. And let's go ahead and make sure our server is running. On Linux, it is sudo /opt lamp xampp start. Very similar on Windows and Mac, but you'll have to look at the documentation if you choose to use those platforms. So I got my server up and running here. So let's go ahead to our file here. We're inside of our PHP directory, and we'll go ahead and close previous files. And I'm going to go ahead and create one called arrays.php, and we'll open and close some PHP tags to get started. And then let's just go ahead and go to our browser and navigate to our new file, arrays.php. All right, there we go. So we are ready to talk about arrays. Now, what is an array? An array is basically a data type that we can use in most programming languages, and PHP is no exception, where we can actually store a list of things in one object. So let me show you what I mean here. Let's just put, let's create a variable called colors, and we're going to set this as an array. So in PHP, to create an array, you can type array and then open and close some parentheses. Or if you have a newer version of PHP, you can actually use square brackets. And so that's the preferred method that I like to use, but you could just go ahead and type out array. But this squared brackets, what it does is it allows us now to put a list of things in here. So we can do any number of different things. We can put a list of strings, we can do integers, we can do floats, we can do any of the data types, and in fact we can even put more arrays inside of an array. But for now we're going to work on something called indexed arrays. So let me go ahead and put a comment here so that we can keep track of what we're doing here. So this is going to be called indexed arrays. And indexed arrays are, in some programming languages, are also called lists. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is in colors, I'm going to go ahead and say red, comma, green, comma, blue. So now we have three elements in our arrays. These things are separated by commas, and so this one array that we've set in a variable called colors is a data type, and this is a list of colors. Now, right here at the top of our page, let's go ahead and rebuild our dump function. So data, and what we'll do here is we'll echo our pre-tags, and then we'll do a var dump, and we're going to dump our data, and then we're going to echo our closing pre-tag. Now we've seen this a lot throughout our thing. This is just a function we can use. But what I'm going to do here is underneath our indexed array here, I'm going to, we'll just dump our colors array to the screen. So let's go ahead and save that now and go back to our browser and refresh. And I left off the S on colors, so let me resave that and refresh. And now you can see what we are dumping to the screen is an array. And the way this reads is it has three elements to it. The first element is red, the second element is green, and the third element is blue. So let's talk a little bit about what an indexed array is. So the array itself is made up of two parts for each element. The first part is called the key. The key is how we can access the element in the array. And so with an indexed array, these are just numeric. And computers, when they count, they start with 0. So you have 0, 1, 2. Now 0, 1, 2 are your keys for the values. So a key, and then your value is red. So let me show you what I mean. If I want to print or echo red to the screen, I can say echo colors. And then if I want to do red, I'd have to put a 0 here instead of a 1. So this 0 is referencing the key for the value in the array. So arrays are key value pairs, and with a simple list, they are actually, this is called an indexed array, and they are numeric starting with 0. Now remember, computers always start with 0. So if I wanted to print green, even though that's the second element in the array, I would have to use the number 1, because remember the first one is going to be 0. So now if I refresh, we have green. And now if I echo 2 and save, this is going to echo blue. So that's 3 elements. So the third element's actually number 2. So just remember that computers start with 0. And that's just, you know, this whole course started with chapter 0 because computers start with 0 when they count up. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2. And if I would try to do a third one that doesn't exist, we're actually going to get a warning here called Undefined Array Key 3 in our arrays on line 16. So what it's trying to do is access an element that doesn't exist here. Now if I put another element in here, maybe say purple, this is actually the key or the index of 3. However, this is the 4th element. So red is 0, green is 1, blue is 2, and now purple is 3. So now if I refresh, we'll get rid of that warning and it echoes purple to the screen. So this is an indexed array, and you access the elements within the array by using the number or the index of that element. So you can use 0, 1, 2, or 3 in this case to get 0, 1, 2, or 3. So I hope that makes sense. That is an indexed array. It's just a list. You access each individual item in that list by referencing its index or its key. All right, so now let's talk about another type of array we can use, and this is these are called crap, I'm blanking out right now for some reason. Sorry, I've been mowing grass and doing everything other than programming today. So these are associative arrays. I can't believe that I kind of blanked on the name of that. And associative array, these are in other language referred to as dictionaries. Dictionary. Okay. And if you imagine a dictionary will have you look up a word and then it will give you the meaning of that word. And so the array is not much different, except for now let's just do an array called person. And we set it up exactly the same way with our square brackets. And instead of just doing a list, a comma separated list, we can actually define what we want the key to be. So what I could do is do first underscore name, and then we'll do equals greater than, just like that, no spaces. And then I could say Curtis. Then what I could do is do last name, Parham. And then I'll do another one and we'll do age. All right, 40. So, and then let's just do one more and let's just do maybe eyes. My eyes are blue. Okay, so this also has 4 elements in the array, but instead of accessing these and instead of accessing these by index, what we can do, oops, I actually drug that there. We can actually access these. So if I wanted to print, for example, my age, I could say echo, you know what, let's do eyes. Well, it doesn't matter. We could do echo person, and then we put our square brackets, and then inside here we're going to put a string, and then we can type in the name of our key. So in this case, I want to access the age of person array, and this will print 40 to the screen. So if I refresh now, I gotta save, go back, refresh, and now you see that there is a 40 right there. Now, let's see. Let's do a function, and let's just call this function, I don't know, let's call it E. And we'll pass that in a val. And then what we're going to do is echo the val. And then we're going to concatenate on a break tag. So that's just a simple function we can create here so that when we, instead of doing echo, we can actually just pass in that person age into our E function, and that will create, and once I use it here as well, there we go. Now we have these on separate lines just to make it easy on us. Alright, so you can see that. And let's just go ahead and we'll do our dump here. Let's dump person. So we can var dump that to our screen. And you can see that now instead of having an index of 0, 1, 2, and 3, we get to define what the keys are for these. So we have first name, last name, age, eyes. So this is an associative array, sometimes called a dictionary. In other languages, this is an indexed array, and sometimes called a list. And it's pretty much because these, you don't really care what the key are. They're going to be numeric, and they're going to increment. And then if you have to know, you may not know what order this array will be in, but you know it has a first name, last name, age, and eyes. That you would want to use an associative array so that you can access just the last name, for example. Okay, so that is an associative array. There's another type of array that we can use, and that would be called a multi-dimensional array. Now, a multi-dimensional array is simply just, we'll call it multi. You create it the same way. But a multi-dimensional array may have a mix of stuff in it. So let's say inside of multi, I can create a key of colors, and then I can actually put another array in here, and I can say red, green, blue, and then I can also do person. And now I can say first Curtis, last Parham, age 40. All right, so I have an array with other arrays inside of it, and in fact I can nest these as deep as I want, and I don't even have to nest these. I can then just I can also mix this, and I could put like another one here. Let's just say favorite color, cyan, something like that. So this multi-dimensional array could be as deep as we want, right? And the way that we actually access this, and let me just actually make another, well, you know what, let's keep it a little simpler. I was going to make it even deeper, but let's leave it like that. And let's show you how you can access this. So let's say I wanted to access the blue color here inside this color. So what I would do there is we would echo it. Let's just set it to color is equal to, and then you would access it by going multi, and then you put your square brackets. You do inside of quotes, we're going to access colors to get here. And this is an indexed array, so I want the third element. So which one would that be? Remember, computers start counting with 0, so it's going to be 0, 1, 2. So then I would do another set of square brackets and do 2. And then we can go ahead and send that to the screen. And we should print blue. Oops. Let's see. Multi, and that is because that's an S. Colors. And there we go. Now we have blue printed to the screen. So you can, depending on how deeply this is nested, you might have multiple square brackets. So let's say now I want to access age. So then we'll say age is equal to multi person age. And then we can send that to the screen with our E function we created. So you see here we're accessing the array here with the variable name multi, and then we're diving in by this key, so that's going to give person. So this here alone will give us that array. And then after that we are going to use another set of square brackets, and we're accessing this age. So that age will then give us back this value, which will be 40. So let's save that and refresh, and now we have blue 40. Well, 40 is the line we just did. And of course, if I want to get favorite color, we could do favorite equals multi, and then we just have the one key of favorite color. And if we send that to the screen now, we get cyan. Okay, so that's 3 different types of arrays. We have indexed arrays, which are lists. We have associative arrays because we can associate the key with something we can remember or easily access. Okay, this is an associative array. We define the keys and the values in those. And then we have multi-dimensional arrays, which are just arrays that may have other arrays and lots of deeply nested things inside of it. Multi-dimensional arrays are very powerful, and you can store a lot of data inside of them. But then you access them pretty much the same as every other array. You just, for every level you go deep, for each key or index, you have to put it in brackets, and it just keeps building like a tree as you go into each element. So that is the 3 different types of arrays. You're going to use all 3 of them within your programming career quite often. I use them all the time, so I can't tell you which one I use the most. I probably use associative arrays the most, because this is often going to be, this could be a row that's stored in a database, and these keys here could be the column names of your database, and then these values would be the actual values that are stored in those columns per row in a database. So these you end up using associative arrays quite often, but you will also use multi-dimensional arrays and lists like this. So just get used to using all of them and accessing them. Just remember that if you're using an indexed array, the first element starts with 0, and then they just increment up. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. That's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to look at some different built-in functionality that PHP gives us to deal with some of these arrays and do some pretty cool stuff. So I will see you in the next video. If I can find there we are. Peace out.